What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we have reached the final of the Atlanta Vault Tour. Now, on the left, we've got Bobby Sunshine playing Undyne of Long Road, a Logos Mars Untamed deck. On the right, we have got Cav Manikaraj, my apologies for the pronunciation as always, playing Aya Flarekeeper Calvin. But this is an adaptive final, which means after game 1, these chaps are going to be swapping decks, and then if there is a game 3, if they are 1-1 after game 2, then we are going to, or they are going to bid chains to decide who actually gets it at the end. Cool, right? We did, I believe, in top 4, there we go, see Undyne of Long Road in action, and he starts off today. Oh, that's a nice turn 1 play. Plays down a Flaxia, gain 2 Amber if you control more creatures than your opponent. Given his opponent has not been able to play any yet, yeah, fair to assume he plays more. Oh, looks like we got a free Fates coming down, though, from Cav, and that is going to take that away while giving an Amber. And Charette comes down to capture 2 Amber. So actually, as much as Bobby's turn 1 play was good, and it was, he captured 2 of the Amber while destroying the creature. Both the Amber, in fact. Now, what we see coming down here is the little played Psychic Bug. When you play and when you reap, you look at your opponent's hand. It's also one of the very rare creatures that gives you an Amber bonus when you play it. I mean, Flaxia, I suppose, technically does, but only if you've got more creatures than your opponent. So it's more of a skill than an Amber bonus. We see it on Fuzzy Gruin and Time Traveler and a couple of others. Although, weirdly, in Age of Ascension, there were no new creatures with Amber bonuses. Seriously, go check them. I'll wait. Maybe after the game. Wild Wormhole comes down, gives an Amber bonus, lets you play the top card of your deck. Ooh, which is a Dust Pixie, another creature with an Amber bonus. So Bobby's actually here done really well. He's got himself 6 Amber, but unfortunately 2 of them have been captured by Charette. So he's not on check yet, but safe to say Bobby's had a really strong start. Oh, Cav's got a library access though, which means every single card he plays from here on in is going to gain him an Amber. So he plays down a creature, he gets himself an Amber, plays down another creature, gets himself an Amber. I believe one of them was Dr. Escatera. Oh, and then he plays a Twin Bolt Emission to actually get rid of a couple creatures on Bobby's side of the board. Then he plays himself a Replicator. When you reap, you get to steal a reap effect of another creature. Ha! Doesn't exhaust them, mind you. So again, Cav here, and he's drawing a lot of cards. That's key here. Now, I think we just saw a phase shift come down, which means he's actually now going to be able to play a card from another house. And the combination of library access, phase shift is super strong. Because remember, you play a card when you phase shift, and then, or you draw a card, sorry, and then you draw another card when you play, well, special delivery, as it goes for Cav. Yeah, that's quite nice. Still not, he's not ending the turn on check, mind you, but that was a strong turn. Built up quite a nice battle line, drew a bunch of cards. He's put himself in a good position for future turns. Now is he, I think he's done. Could be wrong. Yes, there we go. So now, unfortunately, the creature there is in an awful lot of glare. I want to say that's a Rocket Boots that's come down. Could be a Red Planet Ray Gun, but I believe it's a Rocket Boots. And when you fight or reap for the first time you've used it, you get to reuse it. Very, very strong. But it looks like that's the only card he's played. Ah, but he played it on a Quixo the Adventurer. Fun fact, Quixo the Adventurer based on Brad, the card designer. I know a lot of you watching know that fact. I've seen it many, many places. But Quixo the Adventurer is Brad, the designer of the game, brought into the card game. Cool, right? So it was a very unassuming turn from Bobby. Played 1 card, got a couple of... It hasn't done a huge amount. And now Cav comes down, he's played his Speed Sigil, which means he gets to play a creature and it comes in active, which I believe is Carlo Phantom. When you play an artifact, you steal an Amber. Quite nice, to be honest with you. Now, there's a bit of glare on the field, but there is a Shadows card coming down. Is that Ghostly Hat? No. No, it's Finishing Blow. Destroy a damaged creature if you do, steal an Amber, and you've got an Amber bonus. It's a rare, so one we see a bit less. Down comes a Noddy the Thief. And now Cav's done what Cav needed to do. He's got himself 7 Amber, and he's rolling here. At this stage, he's absolutely rolling. Oh, Mimicry. No, that is Mimicry. I was right. Mimicry comes down, lets you copy a card from your opponent's discard pile. You would imagine he's probably gone library access. So he's got cooperative hunting, lets him take that out. Yes, it is library access. You saw him draw the card after playing the cooperative hunting. That's one of the things that's so difficult about commentating a game like Keyforge. You got so many cards like Mimicry where you've basically got to watch what happened to try and figure out what's been played. But he gets himself a Giant Sloth, gets himself a Snufflegator. Snufflegator takes out Charette, which gets those 2 captured Amber back. Remember, the Speed Sigil on Cav's side of the field is working for both players, which is how the Snufflegator came down this turn and was able to be used this turn. Good work, Bobby. A little proud of you now. Love Snufflegator. My favourite creature in Wave 1. I know I've mentioned that in at least half of the Keyforge videos I've made, but I love him so much it's worth it. Oh, and he actually... Oh, no. Not able to play a Key Charge. So he discards Key Charge. Or did he play it to lose an Amber? No, I think he just discarded it. Because if you play it, you lose an Amber and you get to draw a card, but that would put him off check, so... I don't think he would have done that. Technically an option. Did not, unfortunately, have the Amber he needed to play the Key Charge. Of course, spoiler alert, we saw him in his top 4 game, which is linked in the description if you haven't seen it. We did see him winning the game on a Key Charge. It was... Well, it was a sight to behold, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. It was pretty sweet. So, we did see Cav forge his first key there. And now what's he got? That Speed Sigil does give him a huge advantage. Although I believe it was the top 4 of this Vault where we actually saw Bobby really take advantage of his opponent's Speed Sigil. So he is playing down another, I want to say, Shadows creature. Now, it is making him discard a random card from his hand. Cannot quite see, unfortunately, what the creature is. No, I was going to say, there aren't any Shadows creature that does it. It's a Toxin. No, Toxin does it when you reap. Ah, yeah, so it came in and then was readied immediately, and then he reaped and discarded a random card. There we go. And now we get an Ember Imp down, one of the most disruptive creatures in Call of the Archons. Ember Imp reads, your opponent cannot play more than 2 cards each turn. Now, they can use whatever cards they want, but they cannot play more than 2. Ooh, should not have done that, ladies and gentlemen. I think Bobby's just made a rather large mistake. You're going to see a judge jumping in here because you saw him play the library access, then use Nepenthe to get it back and replay it, so you're drawing 2 cards every time you play a card. The problem is, Cav's got an Ember Imp on the field. And Ember Imp says you can only play 2 cards during your turn. So Bobby here is trying to play a Twin Bolt Emission to get rid of the Ember Imp, and it's not going to work. And now he's trying to play a Doc Bookton, but he's already played 2 cards during this turn. He's not going to be able to do this. It looked like he played the library access, then used Nepenthe to reuse the library access. But that's 2 cards. And Ember Imp says, no, you can play as many cards as you can use as many cards as you want, but Ember Imp says you can only play 2 cards during your turn. And he's played 2 cards. So he's not going to be able to get rid of that Ember Imp. That's a big error, ladies and gentlemen. That is a big mistake, and you can see Bobby there taking off the hat. It's clearly just occurred to him that he's made a really big mistake, and I don't think there's much you can do about it at this stage. Now, to be fair, we're in the final of a Vault Tour, and when you're talking library access, you're thinking, right, play library access, make sure it's the first thing I do. And he's used, I mean, the amount of times he's gone double library access is huge, but unfortunately cannot do it with an Ember Imp down. And now Cav can really move into the driver's seat in this game. You just saw him using Noddy the Thief to steal an Amber. So that means that Bobby is now off of check and won't be forging a key at the beginning of his next turn. That's pretty huge. We see a Ghostly Hand coming down to grab Cav a couple of Amber. And now Cav is moving into position to forge his second key. He's stopped Bobby forging his first, but more than that, Bobby needs to recover from this. This is something where Bobby actually needs to turn around and go, oh, okay, right. Game face, game face, game face, and just get back into the game. Making a mistake like that can be huge, because it's not just that he made the mistake, that was his double library access turn. That was the turn he was going to go nuts, and now he's not able to do so. And he still needs to get rid of the Ember Imp, incidentally. He's got Snufflegator on the board with Skirmish, that'll do it. We know he's got Twin Bolt Emission in hand, that will do it. Either of those will give him access to all of his cards again, but he's still now in a position where his opponent has got a big advantage, and he's now thinking, right, so where are we to? So he is able to get rid of it. He plays Mothership Support. He plays Tunk. Remember, Tunk comes down ready because of Cav's Speed Sigil. He then plays Mothership Support, deals 2 Amber to a creature for each ready friendly Mars creature. He had 1, 2 damage, takes down Ember Imp. Now, we do see Cav just reading an artifact there. A Mars artifact, as it were. Now, it looks like it's Invasion Portal. Discard cards on the top of your deck until you discard a Mars creature or run out of cards. If you discard a Mars creature this way, put it into your hand. Cool, I suppose. Why not? Oh, so we do see Deep Probe coming down here. You get to choose a house, look at your opponent's hand, discard all creatures from that house. Has he chosen wisely? Oh, it does not look like he has. It looked like there might have only been Logos creatures there, and it looked like Bobby did not choose Logos. So that's, yeah, that's a little bit upsetting. So he's failed on that one, unfortunately. He's not having a lot of luck this game, Bobby. And Cav is moving into the driver's seat. Now, looks like Toxin is going down, being taken out by Tunk. Oh, but Bobby, it looks like he can't get rid of any Amber, so that means that Cav is just about to forge his second key of the game. Forging second key, going up 2 keys to 0. Bobby's sitting there with 7 Amber, so can Cav stop him forging a key? Or is he just going to let him forge a key and go, you know what, I've already got 2, I'm still up by 1 key after you do this, I can afford to let you forge, it's not that bad. What's he got here? Looks like he might be... Is that Miasma in his hand? There is one in his deck. That would be a really good card to drop right now. Although it looks like he might have a Too Much to Protect as well. He could be on for a really good turn. He's got Noddy the Thief on board. So Noddy the Thief would allow him to steal an Amber after the Too Much to Protect. Yes, there we go. Miasma comes down, grabs him an Amber. Bobby skips his Forge a Key step. Then Too Much to Protect comes down, puts Bobby down to 6 Amber. Cav steals until Bobby's down to 6. Then he does use Noddy the Thief to put Bobby down to 5. Noddy not nice to Bobby here. And now Cav has actually stopped him forging a key, even though he played Miasma to make him skip his forging a key part. Yowza, that's a good turn, ladies and gentlemen. That is an extremely good turn. He is putting himself in a really, really good position here. He's up 2 keys to 0. Bobby's not forging a key. Now, we finally do see that Twin Bolt Emission coming down, all but clearing Cav's board. I believe he's just left him with a Dr. Escaterra sitting there. But that's gotta be disheartening. Now remember, we are in a best of 3 here. So that means that it's not over for Bobby by any stretch of the imagination. Bobby can still win the next 2 games, but it means this game, it's clearly getting away from him. It's clearly getting away from him. Now he is able to play a couple more Logos creatures, and now he's sitting on a lot of amber, 9 to be precise. So it looks like Bobby is going to be in a good position to forge next turn. This would have been a good turn for a miasma, to be perfectly honest with you. But Cav's played it. Cav doesn't have an Nepenthe Seed, so it's kind of a moot point, if I'm honest with you. But you see, Cav doesn't need to stop Bobby forging. Cav is at enough of an advantage here that he can potentially just rush amber. Just try and get as much amber as he can and go, you know what, Bobby? You know what, Sunshine? That is a word that English people call people. You know what, Sunshine? You forge your second key. I'll just rush and get more amber. He doesn't need to stop Bobby forging. He just needs to forge his third key before Bobby's forged 2. That's often a pretty good way to do so. So he starts off with Dr. Escoterra. Looks like he's just reaping. Then he plays what looks like a Brain Eater. Is that his Brain Eater? Yes, he does play it. After a creature is destroyed fighting Brain Eater, draw a card. So he destroys Doc Bookton and then draws a card. Oh, and he's got Logos creatures for days, ladies and gentlemen. So now he can, if he wants next turn, just reap 5 times with 5 Logos creatures and put himself up to 11 amber. Of course, you'll notice, and Bobby has just forged his first key, you'll notice that Cav actually played a Titan Mechanic on the flank there, which means keys only cost 5 to forge right now, which does mean that Bobby just paid 1 less. But that means that if Bobby only gets rid of 1 amber, Cav will still win the game next turn. So Bobby's going to need to get rid of 2 amber here. Good news is he's not playing Shadows, but he's got a bunch of options. He's gone for Mars. He does have way to capture in Mars. If he can find his Y-Auxiliary Marauder, it gets +1, it captures 1 amber for each friendly ready Mars creature. There it goes. And even though the Dominator is stunned, it came into play ready because of the speed sigil. A creature can be stunned and ready, or stunned and exhausted. Because remember, you need to be ready in order to use it to get rid of the stun. So this is nice. Cav's putting himself in a really good position. Bobby has at least stopped him forging. Oh, so he does finally play that. He finally uses his invasion portal. Gets himself a Mind Warper, which he's able to play. Gets himself a Red Planet Ray Gun, which is at least going to put him onto 6 amber and allow him to... Oh, no. No, it's putting him onto 5 amber. But with the Titan Mechanic, that would still allow him to forge. And it looks like there's a bunch of fighting going on here. Taking out the Doc Bookton. He's looking at Cav's side of the board and going, yeah, that's a good point. He can just reap to victory next turn. So, yeah. We need to make sure he doesn't do that. And if at least he is going to do that, let's take out Doc Bookton, because Doc Bookton draws a card when you reap. So what's Cav got here? Can he put himself in an unassailable position? Okay, well, look, we're doing the damage counters on there. I think he was using upside down amber as damage, and that was just a bit confusing. We're capturing and all of that. So we've got nice clear damage counters on. Now he's using a Dominator Bauble, which is going to let him use his Titan Mechanic. And is he reaping, or is he just getting rid? What's he doing? He might choose to get rid of it here, because Bobby's got 5 amber and can forge next turn. Yes, there we go. He's throwing it at the Dominator and basically going, look, this way, you can't forge on 5 amber like you would be able to. So now he's made sure Bobby is not forging. And that looks like... Is that Tendrils of Pain? That might be Tendrils of Pain. It does 1 damage to each creature, but 4 because his opponent forged a key last turn. And this is going to get rid of an awful lot of stuff. It can be really hard to tell in Keyforge sometimes. He's on a dis turn. I think the only way he can do that much wiping. Yes, and there we go. So there's a creature left with 4. So that was a Tendrils of Pain wiping the board. Got him an Amber as well. And he's just building up Amber here, if I'm honest with you. Just building up Amber. And looks like he's played a Poltergeist there as well. Now what's up next? Is he done? Can he keep going? He's got a bunch of Amber bonus right now. He's going to play down Pit Demon, which steals an Amber. Oh, he's got an action to steal an Amber, but I believe that was the first one he played this turn, and obviously Dominator Bauble. Plays down a Succubus to stop his opponent drawing cards, and I think the game might be over. What's Bobby got? Bobby has got to remove 4 Amber from Cav's board with no creatures on board. That Tendrils of Pain was huge. Oh, Bobby's doing that thing people do when they're looking through and they're desperately hoping they're going to see something they hadn't identified. Some way. So he plays a Wild Wormhole, gets himself a Full Moon, and that's it. Wild Wormhole was a desperation play to try and find something to stop his opponent forging a key. He wasn't able to do it. And ladies and gentlemen, game 1 goes to Cav. That library access play, the mistake there was absolutely huge. That made a big, big difference in the game. But Cav played that absolutely beautifully. Congratulations to him. But remember, firstly, we are in a best of 3. So that does not make him our Vault Tour champion. And secondly, we are in an adaptive final, which means now Bobby takes Cav's deck, Cav takes Bobby's deck, and we play another game. So what's going on here? Is Cav's deck the better deck? Is Bobby's deck the better deck? But the library access mistake cost him the game, in which case Cav could actually really want to take Bobby's deck. It's going to be fun finding out. And the great thing is, we can skip straight to the start of the game because we recorded this earlier. So we are now off and rolling in the game, or seconds away. Bobby goes first as a loser of the previous game, pops down a Succubus to do a little bit of disruption, just to stop Cav drawing as many cards. Cav gets down a Quixo the Adventurer, and a card of an Amber bonus, which I'm going to be honest, I missed what it was. Oh, was it Scrambler Storm? Your opponent cannot play action cards on their next turn. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players play with their opponent's deck. They just played a 20-minute game against the deck, but clearly they've not had any practice with it. So he's gone logos here. It looks like he's got a Titan Mechanic down on the flank. Looks like he's got a Replicator down. So this is looking pretty good. He's got himself a nice little board there. 1 Amber between the two of them in the first 3 turns. But this happens sometimes. The game will heat up after a while. So Cav there. Looks like he's... playing Nature's Call to make his opponent just pick up all the things. Now he's gone double Full Moon Flaxia. That's 4 Amber. Double Full Moon means you draw 2. You get 2 Amber for each creature you play. Flaxia gets 2 Amber because you've now got more creatures than your opponent, plus the 2 from double Full Moon. And you'll notice that was only possible because he played Nature's Call to make his opponent pick up all 3 of his creatures. That was a phenomenal turn by Cav, playing out the Nature's Call with a double Full Moon and then the Flaxia, getting all the sequencing, remembering it's not even his deck. Of course, and I'm sure most of you have figured this out by now, but let's say it out loud. It doesn't matter how good a Keyforge deck you have, you are not making the final of a Vault Tour unless you are a really good player. So yeah, Cav's clearly got a good deck to make it this far, but it is a combination of deck and player, make no mistake about that, ladies and gentlemen. So Fear came down to put a creature back, clearly wasn't ever going to be Flaxia. Succubus comes back down here. Kind of annoying if you're honest, it's stopping you drawing as many cards. It's not really what you're looking for, but you don't get much of a choice, unfortunately. Fun times. So, once again, Cav forges the first key. I mean, double full moon Flaxia, that's going to get you there. One of the things that Untamed is so good at is just rushing into a whole bunch of amber. We are, however, on a Logo's turn here. So we play a Wild Wormhole, gets to combat Pheromones down, lets you cheat and use a couple of Mars cards or Mars creatures later on in the game. That's quite nice. Gets himself down a Dr. Escatera. And a Doc Bookton. And someone else who is in the glare zone. We'll figure it out later. But now he's got a bunch of creatures down, and this is going quite nice. He's actually got more amber than Bobby, even though he's already forged a key. So down we come. Is that Magda the Rat? Yes. Steals 2 amber, but when it leaves play, your opponent steals 2 amber. Okay, that's quite nice. So Bobby's now up to 3 amber. Is there anything he can do? There's no more on Cav's side of the field to steal. He is going to have to gain it the old-fashioned way. But it looks like bit of reaping. Bit of reaping? Oh no, played a special delivery. That's more like it. Played a special delivery, got himself an amber. It's not... Oh, he's not there yet. So finishing... Is that finishing blow? Yes. Destroy a damaged creature if you do steal an amber. Remember, there's not one to steal, though it does give you an amber bonus. But it doesn't look like Bobby's put himself on check. It looks like he's a single amber short, which could... That could go badly. So now we see a deep probe from Cav. Is he going to hit any? Has he done it? I mean, he knows his own deck. He should know how many creatures are in the deck and what he's more likely to hit. But no, does not hit any. Be kind of mean if he hit off Deep Probe when his opponent hadn't. That would just be mean. So, is there 2 Mind Warper in the deck? Looks like we might... No, there's only 1 Mind Warper. There it is. And then we see a... No, that is a Zizix the Many. And this is really good with Combat Pheromones because it means next turn he can go non-Mars but still use some of those creatures. Gets a Red Planet Ray Gun down onto Doc Bookton. And he's in a familiar position. He's used to being ahead. In the previous game, he forged the first key and never looked back. Okay, Bobby's quite close to forging his first key, but he hasn't done it yet. And that means he's got another turn. Another turn to put himself in a good position. Right. What can Bobby do? What's Bobby got? And this is the worst bit, is when you're, in an adaptive final, when you're behind and you're not using your own deck. With your own deck, you've used it. I mean, you've probably, if you're at a Vault Tour with a deck, you've probably, especially if you made it all the way to the final, and it's not sealed, you've probably played dozens and dozens of games with the deck. You know it inside and out. You know what tricks are there. You know what cards to hold off for, etc. But with your opponent's deck, I mean, look, he's got the card, and he's got the card in front of him. He can look at it as he likes. And he's played a game against it, but he doesn't have that same familiarity. So he plays Poltergeist just to sacrifice Combat Pheromones, which I think is a pretty good play. And he's now got himself up to 7 amber, so he is about to forge next turn. That's very nice. But what's he got? Now, there's just a bit of a question here. He's looking at Poltergeist, and I believe they're looking at a special delivery. I'm not entirely sure. Or did he use 2 Poltergeist? Ah, okay. He used both Poltergeist because he wanted the amber bonus, so he had to get rid of his own special delivery. You can use Poltergeist to use your own artifact, incidentally, and essentially just get the amber bonus. Or cheat houses. Because, of course, he just used a Shadows artifact on a dis turn. So there's an option you've got. Okay. So back to Cav then. Gets himself down the Marauder. He's building up a good battle line here. Although it's stunned. It's not ideal. Or is that a +1 power? No, it's a +1 power counter. There we go. Because remember, when it comes in, it captures an amber for each friendly ready Mars creature, which is 1 Mind Warper, and then has +1 power for each amber on it. We got there in the end, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're rolling. And using Mind Warper to make his opponent capture one of his own amber. Remember, when you destroy a creature with amber on, you get the amber. So the person who doesn't, it's the opponent of the creature with the amber on that gets the amber. So if you use Mind Warper to make your opponent capture one and then destroy the creature that captured, it's a roundabout way, but you are stealing an amber doing that. So Bobby, it looks like he's got Titan Mechanic down on the flank. And it looks like he's now got, is that an interdimensional graft? If your opponent forges the key on their next turn, they've got to give you all their amber. It's not going to do much, if I'm honest with you. Because there's no way Cav's forging a key. Unless Bobby's going to play cards that give him amber, then no. Not happening, ladies and gentlemen. Not happening. But that's not a phenomenal turn. Psychic Bug comes down for Cav. He gets to look at Bobby's hand, gets an amber. But Bobby's kind of passed the turn with 6 amber. Bobby's not right about to forge a key. And the longer this goes on, the more it looks like Cav's going to be our Atlanta Vault Tour champion. Because he's 1 game up, he's 1 key up, and it just feels like he's in control of this. Now, big question, can he get an amber away from Bobby? By which I mean 2. Don't forget the Titan Mechanic down on Bobby's side of the board. So Quixo the Adventurer here, is that fighting or reaping? It's fighting. Bearing in mind he's got Skirmish, so he is going to survive any fight without taking any damage. And you draw a card when you fight. So that's quite nice. Oh, and he's drawn into library access. Now, he's only got 1 other Logos card in hand. So the question is, does he just go for... I mean, maybe he just keeps drawing into Logos cards. Does he go... But it's unlikely. Does he go for a little advantage now, or maybe save till next turn, where he can try and go nuts? Now the good news is he is able to steal a couple of amber. He gets rid of Magda the Rat. Remember, Magda steals 2 when she comes in, but you steal 2 when she leaves. So that's enough to put Bobby off of check. And now we are really rolling. He's used Quixo to fight and draw a card. He's used Doc Buckton to fight and draw a card. Oh, he's thinking about it. He's doing it. Down comes library access. Down comes lab work. I believe that's lab work. Yes, it is. Archive a card. Yeah, 'cause he doesn't play sloppy lab work. Oh, he's got Wild Wormhole. Such a good card with library access. So he's just archiving the card there, as you saw. Because Wild Wormhole's going to draw you a card when you play it, give you an amber, then you play the top card of your deck and draw another card, because you're basically playing 2 in 1, so you're drawing 2 in 1. I don't know how I'd feel if I was playing in an adaptive final and my opponent was winning with my deck. That would make me sad. Although it looks like... Okay. So even though there's more he could have done with library access, he chose not to. I think he's building up for next turn. Trying to make sure he's got something in the tank. He's got 9 amber. Now, with Titan Mechanic out... Wait, is that a Titan Mechanic? Because Bobby's got 5 amber. If that is a Titan Mechanic, he should be forging right now. Might not be. I think it is, you know. If that is a Titan mechanic on the flank, he should have forged with a 5. Unless Cav plays something to stop him. But we are back to Cav now, and he's forged his second key, and he's got free amber. He's playing the Pench Seed. That is incidentally one reason, and Snufflegator. Yay! That is one reason you might choose to bin the library access earlier than usual, so that you can then take advantage of it with the Pench Seed later. Because remember, you draw until you got 6 at the end of your turn. 6 cards in hand. So every turn you keep library access in hand waiting, you are essentially chaining yourself. You are drawing one fewer card. And that can hurt. So he's reaping with Flaxia here. So he's on an untamed term. And then he's reaping with Snufflegator. Is he reaping with Snufflegator? I still think Bobby should have forged last turn. I'm sure that's a Titan mechanic on the flank. And I'm not seeing anything on Cav's side of the board. Now, maybe a Miasma was played? Although I don't think there actually is one in his deck. No, because he's not playing the Mars deck anymore. Okay, so it looks like he's going to get rid of Titan Mechanic. He's only up to 5 amber as it stands. He needs to do more. Of course, not reaping with Snufflegator and taking out Titan Mechanic basically means that he's kind of got rid of the 2 ways he could forge a key next turn. Either going up to 6 amber or forging on 5 with Titan Mechanic. So we do see, Tendrils of Pain coming down again. And that just clears the board. That's just a proper job full on board wipe there. 4 damage to everything because Cav forged a key and they're all gone. So now he's got another creature coming down. That's not Succubus, that's Toxin. Toxin comes down. When you reap, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. What's Cav got here? So, there we go. Dust Pixie key charge. That's the victory. Cav does take it home. He is your Vault Tour champion. Playing Dust Pixie to get 2 more amber and then using key charge. He won with Bobby's deck and he takes it 2 games to 0. I love me some adaptive finals. So, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Huge thank you to Cascade Games for letting me use the footage. Thank you to Bobby and to Cav. Congratulations to Cav. Commiserations to Bobby. Make sure you tell me what you think about this in the comment section, the game I mean. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Keyforge and such. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.